Yes, hey guys, welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another entry. I'm here with Addy Burden. Addy, how are we, mate?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on the channel, and for anybody who maybe not know, are you, and am I correct in saying you're a light heavyweight who's 8-0?
Yes.
Yes, brilliant. And so we'll start with the question, which I always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
I don't know. I remember watching it, watching a fight with my dad. It was Joe Calzaghe versus Mikhail Kessler.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 12, I think, and I remember watching it. And just from that moment onwards, I just wanted to try it and do it. And obviously, here we are.
Indeed, and a great fight that was. And so, from that kind of early age when you first started boxing, do you remember what happened in that your first fight?
I can't really remember too much. I didn't have much of an amateur background.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't actually start boxing until I was 14. And then I boxed up until about 16, and then I stopped and then started again. And that's obviously when I signed over. And I think I was 21 when I signed over. I think I started again about 20, and then signed over at 21.
Mm-hmm. No, indeed, fair enough. And so I suppose moving on to your professional career, you say you didn't have too much of an amateur background. Why did you turn professional when you did?
I was more suited to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
The amateurs is, well, when I was in the amateurs, all like point scoring, and before you know it, the fight's over. So I was more suited to how the pros did it, and I feel more comfortable in the pros than I did the amateurs. So I was glad I took that step to do it.
Indeed, and obviously you went on a good run. You're still unbeaten in your record. And were you happy with the 8-0 run you went on and the fights and the performances you had?
Yeah, I was happy with them. I thought there was good learning fights. Obviously, I've had a while out of the ring. I've had 5 years out. So obviously coming back now on March 2nd, hopefully we pick off where we left off and carry on.
And if you don't mind me asking, why was that the reason why you stopped?
I got an injury. I was leading up to a fight. I think it was the 19th of May. It was a Billy Joe Saunders undercard.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an injury on my last spar, which the injury cost me out to be 9 months. 9 months to 12 months injury out time.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hit, and during COVID I had a family and had to put my family life and obviously everything in front of this, and now everything's all down to where I need it to be. Then, and the return to the ring is where I want to be now.
And would you say that this return is coming at the best time for you mentally? Would you say that you're more passionate about the sport than maybe you ever were before?
Yeah, mentally, I'm more focused now. Obviously, I've got my 2 little girls that I'd love to win a title for, just so they can say that their dad won a professional title. So that's what motivates me to keep going, and that's what will motivate me in the gym. I want to get them that title.
And I suppose is your kind of goal and aim to kind of build yourself back up and then get to the fights where, I mean, on your record wise, maybe you haven't fought anybody too similar to your level yet, but in the near future, find somebody who would be that of a tough test for you?
We'll get this one over and done with on March 2nd, and we'll see where we are. To be honest, I ain't getting any younger. I'm 29 in April, so I haven't really got time to hang around. Having that 5 years out has played a big part, really. So I ain't got much time to mess about with building again. I don't really need to build.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the 8 fights, so whatever they give me, I'm happy to take. As long as I've got a fair share, decent training camp, and I'll fight anyone.
And not to kind of say that possibly you weren't training during this 5 year kind of time away, but during and now you've come back, do you feel like you've kind of come back and you are still fighting that same level as you were before?
Yeah. I feel like maybe a little bit. I've got my man strength now. I was 21, 22. Now being 28, I've got that man strength. So I'm that little bit stronger. So yeah, I feel hopefully all fingers crossed everything goes well and we pick off where we left off and carry on and move on to bigger and better things.
Most definitely. And for this performance, because obviously you have had that little bit of time out, are you wanting to come and kind of show to the fans that are going to be there that, you know, you're still a name in the division and you're still somebody to be looked out for?
Yeah, definitely. I don't really want easy fights now. Being 28 years old, there's no point in having these easy fights. I'd rather go in there and test myself against people, and if I lose to them, I hold my hands up and say, do you know what, the better man beat me on the night. That's all you can really say. So I want to test myself and see where I am. I'm not in for the build up fights. Obviously, this one's a 4-rounder coming back after 5 years out, but after this, then we're going to push on for bigger and better things.
Good to hear. And obviously you're fighting on the Carl Greaves show. It's somebody who's been around the sport for a long time. And how did you hear about this kind of show coming back, and what enticed you to this in particular show?
Obviously, I'm signed with Carl Greaves now, and I said to him, obviously, what in the new year, beginning of the year, I said, what's your available dates? And he offered me March 2nd at Leicester. Mm-hmm. It's a new thing. I've boxed in London. I boxed most of my fights at York Hall, so being boxing at Leicester Arena it's a new venue, new atmosphere, new everything really. So that's what I'm excited. Like, I want to try and go around places and experience different places instead of just boxing all in the same place all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. And what has it been like working with Carl Greaves, and has he been kind of supportive of you so far?
Yeah, it's great working with him. He's a great guy, obviously got a good boxing brain. He's been there, he's wore that t-shirt, trained world champion. Yeah, I can't fault him.
And how has your kind of gym changed over the whole kind of time that you've come out to then now be returning properly to the gym? How have you find things changed in the whole kind of atmosphere of your gym?
I don't know, because I wasn't actually there in the COVID atmosphere, but going back to the gym now feels like I never left, if you know what I mean. Like, I was welcome there, and definitely feels like going into the gym feels like home, and yeah, I'm happy.
Amazing. And so for the kind of future, obviously you say you don't really want any kind of easier fights, and you say you're not really getting younger, and so would you kind of have an end goal, and is there an end goal for you?
Until my body says I can keep doing it, until my body tells me otherwise, I'm going to keep doing it. Obviously, I don't want boxing to retire me. I want to retire from boxing. So, yeah, I don't know. If I get to the place where you feel like I'm getting struggling, I'll sit down with my team and my family and then talk. But I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm good to go now. So we just think of now instead of then.
Of course. And so I suppose fighters that maybe do kind of let boxing retire them to an extent and do possibly stay in the sport for a bit too long, what's your opinions on that? Do you feel like that is kind of morally something that you shouldn't be doing?
I guess you can't really have an opinion, because that's up to them. I look at the greats, like say Roy Jones Jr. He carried on for far too long, which he goes down as a great. But if you look at his record now, he lost the fighters that he should never have lost to. But that was down to him. There might be a reason behind why he carried on. So you can't really have an opinion on. I can't have an opinion on other fighters why they've carried on, because I'm not them. I'm not around them. I'm not in their team. So I don't really want to slate people and slag people off, and be a bit more respectful than that.
Yeah, completely understandable, mate. And so, I mean, you spoke about Joe Calzaghe and fighters like Roy Jones Jr. as well. Is there any other type of fighters which you've ever really kind of watched and been interested by?
I like the style of Andre Ward. I feel his boxing brain and his skill and everything put together, I feel like now, even if he'd have stepped up and gone up to heavyweight, I think he would have won a world title heavyweight. So I do really like the way Ward boxes.
Yeah, no, he's an amazing fighter, and obviously in a prior answer you said that you want to kind of tour around more locations and kind of see more places to fight in, and what would be that of a dream venue for you to fight in?
Be Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Be Las. I'd love to box in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I got an opportunity to box in Las Vegas, I could retire happily, and that would be me.
Yeah, and do you kind of think that Vegas is that more of still a prestigious boxing place compared to newer places coming up like Saudi and places like that, which you've got the money but maybe not got the same history?
Nah, the fight capital's got to be Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the big fights is out in Vegas. Obviously, Saudi now they're taking over, but for me, it's got to be Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, mate. Well, I appreciate your time here today. I'll leave with this final question, and obviously you've got a little bit of a platform here on the channel today. Is there anything that you would like to shout out?
I want to obviously shout out my sponsors. Obviously, without these two people, my comeback to the ring after 5 years would not be possible, which that is Harvey's Snack Van, which my mum and dad own, and Scaffold Regiment, which is the scaffold company that my mate owns. See, without them two, then the comeback wouldn't be on as it is. So, got to have a massive shout out to them too.
Of course, amazing, mate. Well, I appreciate you coming here and doing this today. I will be most likely at the fight which you'll be fighting out, and maybe after the fight could come and interview there if you'd be up for it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100%. Just come and grab me.
Amazing stuff. Well, best of luck for that, and thank you very much again. And if you are new around here and you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you did indeed like the video, and thanks for watching.